Hi and welcome back. Today we're going to do a review on these acrylic markers by Twin Markers, and I can't pronounce the name at the top, but anyway, yeah, I wanted to give these a go and I'll explain why later, but right now let's get it opened. So these cost $29.99 on Amazon, and they come in a pack of 80 and they have a nice carrying case, and they are dual tip. One side is a bullet nib and the other is a brush nib, which are my favorites to use. So yeah, let's go ahead and start swatching them and see how they do. For a second there, I thought it was coming out dry, but when I went over it again, it was fine. And also on your end, looking through my camera, the brush nib side kind of looks dull, but it really isn't. On my end, it looks perfectly fine. I think it's just because acrylic paint and acrylic markers tend to be very reflective, especially when you have a bright ring light shining on it. But so far I feel like these markers are pretty juicy, especially the brush nib side. But it does seem like these two browns, it kind of seems like the shades are a little bit different, but we'll continue to do the rest of the swatches and see if any of the other ones look like that or not. And then I'm just gonna do a quick blend of the black and the white together and see how that goes. And I feel like they blend pretty well. And there's a couple of the other ones where it looks like the bullet nib and the brush nib don't match completely together, but not by much. So I think that's fine. But let's go ahead and do a quick drawing. And I decided for the drawing that I'm just going to draw a cute little fall themed gnome that's inspired by my Pinterest board. So I'm just gonna go in with a bunch of different fall colors. And as you can see, I didn't like the brown that I was about to use right there, so I decided to go over it with my orange. And for the most part, I would say it covered up the brown pretty well. Even with the yellow, you can kind of see the lines through it. But from videos that I've watched where people have used the more expensive brands, I feel like even the lighter colors on those don't completely cover up darker lines, whether it be pencil lines or marker lines, without going over it a couple times. So I feel like it's, pretty much the same. To be fair, I have not tried any of the Artex markers or even Copic or any of those, so I can't really compare these to those, but I do know that I feel like they're pretty juicy and they work very well. And with that being said, the reason why I really wanted to try these are because quite a few months ago, I went to a store and I bought a really cheap 12-pack of acrylic markers that were Twin Marker brand. And I felt like they actually worked really well. So I wanted to go get more, but every time I had gone to the store, they just didn't have them anymore. So I was beating myself up about not getting a second pack when I had the chance. And after looking for a couple months, I kind of just gave up. And then I went on Amazon and started trying to find other acrylic markers. And I ended up coming across these ones. And the more that I looked through the reviews and looked at the pictures, I noticed that even though the original markers that I had used in this video right here, I noticed that they looked a little bit different, but the writing still almost looked like the same font. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give it a go. They're not that expensive. I'm gonna buy them in the hopes that they end up being the same because I was really excited about it. And based off of using them, I'm 99% sure that these are those markers. But yeah, anyways, I'm going to turn the rest of this video into a musical time lapse for you, and then I will discuss my final thoughts at the end. Okay, now that we're towards the end of this video, I personally like these markers, so I think that they're worth the price. Also, if you have seen some of my past videos, you will know that this paper is not the best. So like if you see a little bit of the pilling, it has nothing to do with the markers. Like I can't even use my colored pencils on this paper without it kind of ripping it. So yeah, I'm not going to necessarily blame the markers for that. But if you want to get a better idea of how well these markers work, I will be using them in next week's Create This Book episode. And if you've seen this video right here, you'll know that I shared a sneak peek of what I have planned for it. So if you don't want to miss it, I highly suggest that you subscribe and click that notification bell so you'll be notified next week when I post it. But yeah, here is our overall piece, and I hope you enjoy this video, and I hope you join me next week. Bye!